Hello, once again, Star Wars Unboxing fans. Welcome to another episode of Darth Tuba, Star Wars Unboxing Show. I'm your host, Darth Tuba. How do you like my new angle? I'm going to go back and forth. I'm going to mix it up a little bit, but I just, I'm trying to get to... I was thinking about going and filming, even though I have my little studio in here. I was thinking about going and filming from different parts of the collection, just so you can get a different idea. I sometimes do stuff on the couch where you can see all my loose figures kind of hanging on the walls in their little clamshells, and then I have like my normal studio. But I just kind of went away from the far away shot, and I decided to go with something a little closer. Hope you like it. So for today, we have a new and an old. We have something fairly new, okay, something pre-ordered that is based on a very new property, and then we have something retro, actually a customized item, so kind of, and based more on the not only smaller 3 3/4 inch, but the retro style 70s and 80s. So I want to share both of them. So first, the new. We have the Book of Boba Fett Black Series. I guess this is the Tusken Chieftain, which I love. It is a very different look to the Tuskens than the original Tuskens we're used to. I have been, waning away from the Black Series figures, the 6-inch figures, but I still have quite a few, and I do intend to, continue. I don't plan on collecting a huge amount. In fact, I think I only ordered one from Ahsoka. Not that I didn't like the ones that were available. I just only collected one, and I even think I might have canceled it. So we'll see. That was the I don't mind telling you, it was Huyang, because I love that character, and I love that they made that character such a prominent part of the Ahsoka series. But when I found out that they were making a vintage version, I thought I canceled it, but I don't know for sure. So let me just get him kind of set up, squared away here with his thing. Yeah, I really enjoyed this story. I know that there were some people that did not enjoy the Book of Boba Fett. They had their reasons. I understand that. I just personally was loving the world building of it. And I know some people just think it's like, very, I don't know, some people were accusing it of being woke. What the heck is woke? What does that mean? I don't understand what that means. Does that mean, I don't want to get political on my thing here, but I don't think it's being political. That's the thing. I think it's just being like, like if you want to live your life and let other people live their life, then that's not really being woke. That's just being, this cloth goods is good, but it's very stuck to itself. I hope I'm not tearing it apart here. I just, I think that there was a lot of, I don't know, I just feel that I think a lot of people get easily offended, but I think that happens on all ends. I think that everyone just needs to calm down. The way I see it, though, when it comes to, I think what it comes down to is sometimes, maybe you can give your own thoughts about this. What it comes down to is that some people just feel like, media is taking so many other voices into consideration now, and they're representing a lot of different people. And maybe some people get offended at that they're not themselves being represented, which I find hysterical, because that's exactly what other marginalized people that were considered minorities or are considered minorities, feel that they were always being misrepresented or not represented at all. So to have representation means you have to step up and be counted, and I think that's okay. And I think that this story told a different viewpoint. And maybe as kids, especially my age, we were just always thought that the Tusken Raiders were, vicious, animal-like creatures that didn't have humanity. And then we saw the prequel trilogy, where we see them kidnap Shmi Skywalker and basically torture her to death. And I think that established, that this narrative that they walk like men, but they're vicious animals, like as Klieg Lars said. And then Anakin went to go rescue his mother, and when his mother died, he killed the entire tribe. And I used that as a step towards his going over to the dark side, which I thought was, my brain was, no, he just killed a whole bunch. Yes, I recognize that there were Tusken Raiders there that were torturing Shmi and were responsible for Shmi's death. And yes, I understand him wanting to serve justice to those Tusken Raiders. But then he served justice to the entire tribe, including children, and not just the men, but the women and the children, as he said. Anakin himself said. So even then, we were establishing that, okay, this is wrong. So we've already been down this road that these were not just vicious animals. There was a step of them being human. Maybe just because you didn't think of anything other than seeing male ones, and now you saw women and children. So who knows? I don't know. And then you see this new story with Boba Fett being kind of taken in by these guys, a different tribe that were just very nomadic, but they weren't in themselves an evil species. You know what I mean? So of course they were also taken out, in the way that many Native American tribes were taken out in our country's long and not so pretty history. So, and I think some people get offended by that because they have to be constantly reminded that they may be part of a race or they may be part of a group that was responsible for that. Of course, I don't believe in the sins of the ancestors carrying down, but there you go. So anyway, sorry for my little thing there, but I just think woke is short for awoken, meaning awakened in your brain to think about other ways of thinking. So I'm woke because I try to think more about one way of thinking. That doesn't mean that I think that everything that is all wrong. I just think that, let's think about it different ways. Let's have a conversation. What's wrong with that? But that's just me. So there he is. It's a beautiful outfit. The robe is a little weird. It seems to be falling off his left shoulder a little bit, but not too bad. But yeah, I knew that this was going to be a nice setup. Very different from the normal Tusken Raider. Does he pass the stand test? He passes the stand test. All right, very good. All right. Now, good. That was something new. Now let's talk about something not necessarily old. This is also new, but it's based on something old. This is from our friends over at NEXT17. NEXT17 does beautiful.com, does great customized figures, okay? And they do a great job with, in fact, if I put this close enough and you pause it, you should be able to get to their QR code, right? I think. And they put this really cool thing together. These are figures that they've created so far, and the accessories that they come with. Pretty cool stuff. And also we got a little card here for like a kind of looking like a Topps vintage card, and it's like Hermie taking the vermin for a walk. So these are different characters that they've created. I have a bunch of these that I've collected. I don't think I've done all of the figures. I think I've done many of them. I think I've purchased a lot of them, but not all of them. But the one I purchased today is, I believe, is Owen. I think it's Owen. Yeah, Owen Lars. Just gotta make sure. I have to make sure that I'm not. We go through all this to make sure I didn't accidentally get rid of anything. Just a really cool. Okay, yeah, this is Owen. I'm got to do his little thing. He includes his little one of his tools, and I haven't. Let's see if I can get this in there without tearing it up. All right, cool. It's got a robe similar to that of the Emperor's Royal Guard, and I guess you can choose to have. I'm gonna have it go down like that. But there he is. That's not a drink. That's like a hydro spanner or something. Hey, what are you trying to push on us? You. I suppose you're programmed for etiquette and protocol. So I think it's. I'm going to make sure. I think it's Owen. I don't think it. Yeah, 112. Let me make sure I got the right thing here. Yeah. Whew. I was like, it's either Owen or War, but I'm pretty sure it's Owen. Yeah, because he doesn't have a drink in his hand. He's got like a tool. So it's just, it just feels like it just fits right in with the vintage, and I mean true vintage, retro vintage 70s and 80s line. So That is really cool. Okay, and we never got an Owen from that line. We never did. So now, at first, I was like, once Hasbro started making new retro figures, I think the first one they did was Tarkin, part of the board game. I wasn't sure how I felt about supporting, artisans, and that's what I'm calling this. This is not a mass-produced thing; it's an artisan piece. And I think to myself, okay, how do I feel about this? Well, first of all, it's an artisan piece, and if Hasbro Kenner decides to start making more of these retro figures, it seems like they are going away from the original, except for like Mon Mothma, which I did in a previous episode. They made a Mon Mothma as part of a 6-pack of Return of the Jedi figures. The other 5 were remakes of the old ones. And then they included Mon Mothma, which never got a remake. This is one that they never made and they haven't really touched on. I seriously doubt they're going after an Uncle Owen figure. But even if they did, it's fun to see how they compare. So I think it's okay. So Hasbro, keep making them, but next17.com, check them out. They do a great job. This is, by the way, they did not send this to me for free. I made this purchase. I am not a supported channel by any of these places. I just kind of review what I like. And, the only thing I would say is that I'm looking into, in the future, possibly doing my own customized retro style figures. I've been seeing a lot of that online. This seems a little bit more professional than that. This is definitely, a good quality figure. So he will find a place. I have a nice little display shelf of retro style figures, both the ones that Hasbro has put out and ones that I've found on places like Etsy and places like the next17.com. So thank you so much for watching, guys. All right, until next time, okay, check me out on Instagram and Twitter. Thank you, Red5, for supporting the channel. Check out all the Red5 content. Until next time, may the Force and the toys, new and oldish, be with you.